The revelation on Mount Sinai. From the first day of the third month, the day on which Israel arrived at Mount Sinai, a heavy cloud rested upon them. And everyone except Moses was forbidden to ascend the mountain. Yea, they durst not even stay near it, lest Yahuwah smite those who pushed forward with hail or fiery arrows. The day of the revelation announced itself as an ominous day even in the morning, for diverse rumblings sounded from Mount Sinai. Flashes of lightning accompanied by an ever-swelling peal of horns moved the people with mighty fear and trembling. Yahuwah bent the heavens, moved the earth, and shook the bounds of the world, so that the depths trembled and the heavens grew frightened. His splendor passed through the four portals of fire, earthquake, storm, and hail. The kings of the earth trembled in their palaces, and they all came to the villain Balaam and asked him if Yahuwah intended the same fate for them as for the generation of the flood. But Balaam said to them, O ye fools, the Holy One, blessed be he, has long since promised Noah never again to punish the world with a flood. The kings of the heathen, however, were not quieted, and furthermore said, Yahuwah has indeed promised never again to bring a flood upon the world, but perhaps he now means to destroy it by means of fire. Balaam said, Nay, Yahuwah will not destroy the world either through fire or through water. The commotion there throughout nature was caused through this only, that he is not about to bestow the Torah upon his people. The Eternal will give strength unto his people. At this all the kings shouted, May the Eternal bless his people with peace. And each one, quieted in spirit, went to his house. Just as the inhabitants of the earth were alarmed at the revelation and believed that the end of all times had arrived, so did the earth. She thought the resurrection of the dead was about to take place, and she would have to account for the blood of the slain that she had absorbed, and for the bodies of the murdered whom she covered. The earth was not calmed until she heard the first words of the Decalogue. Although phenomena were perceptible on Mount Sinai in the morning, still Yahuwah did not reveal himself to the people until noon. For owing to the brevity of the summer nights and the pleasantness of the morning sleep in summer, the people were still asleep when Yahuwah had descended upon Mount Sinai. Moses betook himself to the encampment and awakened them with these words, Arise from your sleep. The bridegroom is at hand, and is waiting to lead his bride under the marriage canopy. Moses, at the head of the procession, hereupon brought the nation to its bridegroom, Yahuwah, to Sinai himself, going up the mountain. He said to Yahuwah, Announce thy words. Thy children are ready to obey them. These words of Moses rang out near and far, for on the occasion his voice, when he repeated the words of Yahuwah to the people, had as much power as the divine voice that he heard. It was not indeed quite of their own free will that Israel declared themselves ready to accept the Torah. For when the whole nation, in two divisions, men and women, approached Sinai, Yahuwah lifted up this mountain and held it over the heads of the people like a basket, saying to them, if you accept the Torah, it is well. Otherwise you will find your grave under this mountain. They all burst into tears and poured out their heart in contrition before Yahuwah, and then said, all that Yahuwah had said will we do and be obedient. Hardly had they uttered these words of submission to Yahuwah when 120 myriads of angels descended and provided every Israelite with a crown and a girdle of glory. Divine gifts which they did not lose until they worshiped the golden calf, when the angels came and took the gifts away from them. At the same time with these crowns and girdles of glory, a heavenly radiance was shed over their faces, but this also they later lost through their sins. Only Moses retained it, whose face shone so brightly that if even today a crack were made in his tomb, the light emanating from his corpse would be so powerful that it would not but destroy all the world. After Yahuwah had bestowed upon Israel these wonderful gifts, he wanted to proceed to the announcement of the Torah, but did not desire to do so while Moses was with him, that the people might not say it was Moses who had spoken out of the cloud. Hence he sought an excuse to be rid of him. He therefore said to Moses, go down, warn the people that they shall not press forward to see. For if even one of them were to be destroyed, the loss to me would be as great as if all creation had been destroyed. Bid Nadab and Abihu also, as well as the firstborn that ought to perform priestly duties. Beware that they do not press forward. Moses, however, desirous of remaining with Yahuwah, replied, I have already warned the people and set the bounds beyond which they may not venture. Yahuwah hereupon said to Moses, go, descend and call upon Aaron to come up with thee. But let him keep behind you, while the people do not move beyond the positions you have assigned them. Hardly had Moses left the mountain when Yahuwah revealed the Torah to the people. This was the sixth revelation of Yahuwah upon earth since the creation of the world. The 10th and last is to take place on the day of judgment. The heavens opened, and Mount Sinai, freed from the earth, rose into the air so that its summit towered into the heavens, while a thick cloud covered the sides of it and touched the feet of the divine throne. Accompanying Yahuwah on one side appeared 22,000 angels with crowns for the Levites, the only tribe that remained true to Yahuwah, while the rest worshipped the golden calf. On the second side were 60 myriads, 3,550 angels, each bearing a crown of fire for each individual Israelite. Double this number of angels was on the third side, whereas on the fourth side they were simply innumerable. For Yahuwah did not appear from one direction, but from all four simultaneously, which, however, did not prevent his glory from filling the heaven as well as all the earth. In spite of these innumerable hosts of angels, there was no crowding on Mount Sinai, no mob. There was room for all the angels that had appeared in honor of Israel in the Torah. They had, however, at the same time received the order to destroy Israel in case they intended to reject the Torah.